Conville. Jake's escorted by his parents, Christine and Michael, a 4-year varsity starter and a 3-year captain. Jake has been without a doubt one of the best wrestlers in our lineup for his entire career at West Denver. His dedication to the sport and the toughness he brings to the program are unmatched, and just a few reasons for his success over the past 4 seasons. He possesses many intangible qualities that cannot be taught, and that will be greatly missed next year. He has a current record of 21-2 and has amassed 90 career wins as a 4-year starter. Jake is currently undecided on his plans for next year, but his toughness and character will make him successful at whatever he decides. Senior Jake McConville. Our next senior is Mr. Gismondi. Tassir is escorted by his godmother, Gavin. The 4-year varsity winner and team captain, Tassir is the ultimate teammate and leader. Despite his limited wrestling experience, Tassir's work ethic, positive attitude, and relentless pursuit of greatness has turned him into one of the best heavyweights in the area. But where Tassir really shines is in the practice room and in the hallways of WDHS. He's one of the most charismatic young men, and he's always positive attitude, fun-loving personality, combined with his demand for excellence, making a coach's dream. Next year, Tassir will continue his football career and study math education. Senior Gismondi. Our next senior is Mr. Ryan Monzo. Ryan is escorted by his parents, Tara and Davis. A 3-year varsity letter winner, Ryan has overcome many obstacles over the last few seasons. When in the varsity lineup, he has shown his natural wrestling ability. He has done a great job wrestling at numerous weight classes and doing what is asked of him. Unfortunately, he sustained multiple injuries that have cost him this time, but he has kept a positive attitude through it all and continues to be a supportive teammate. Next year, Ryan plans to attend Morrell College, where he will study business and administration. He also plans to help out as a wrestling coach during his free time. Senior Ryan Monzo. Up next, Mr. Brad Schultes. Brad is escorted by his parents, Lisa and Peter. As a first-year high school wrestler, Brad has done a tremendous job with such limited wrestling experience. He's an accomplished soccer player who decided to come back out for wrestling his senior year, but what makes Brad truly special is the fact that he's the quintessential student athlete. Currently ranked number 2 in his class and involved in seemingly every club that is offered, there is no challenge too daunting for Brad. He's one of the most well-rounded and coachable athletes we've ever had the pleasure of being around. The West Denver Wrestling program is very happy that he came back out this year. Brad is currently undecided on where he will attend college, but he will be studying computer engineering. Whichever college he decides to attend, he's getting an extraordinary young man. Senior Brad Schultes. Our next senior is Mr. Gavin Shields. Gavin is escorted by his parents, Patricia and James, a 4-year varsity starter and 3-year captain. Gavin has been the epitome of what student athletes are supposed to be at West Denver High School. A 3-sport captain that has changed the culture and standards by which athletic programs operate. As a wrestler, Gavin is a 2-time regional qualifier, district finalist a year ago, and has amassed 87 career wins in 4 years. He has a current record of 18-3. As a leader and role model, Gavin has shown the ability to lead by example, not only on the wrestling mat, but in everything he does. He is truly one of the best student athletes to come through West Denver in recent years. Next year, Gavin is undecided on where he'll attend college, but he will continue his football career and study communications and broadcasting. Senior Gavin Shields. Our next senior is Mr. Thomas Stephanie. Tommy is escorted by his parents, Ann and Tom. As a 4-year starter, Tommy has displayed a physical and mental toughness that has been matched by few wrestlers that I have coached. He has wrestled at many different weights, but his consistent mindset and intangible qualities have remained the same. Tommy is a 2-time regional qualifier who has amassed 56 career wins in 4 years as a starter. The best way to describe Tommy is reliable. He has done everything that has been asked of him and more. He seems to wrestle his best when his team needs him the most. He can always be counted on to do his job when it matters. Next year, Tommy will continue his lacrosse career at Wilkes University, where he will study criminology. Senior Tom Stephanie. And our final senior is Mr. Zach Morrell. Zach is escorted by his parents, Chris and Lewis. Zach is a 2-year varsity medal winner who has shown a willingness to do whatever it takes for the team to be successful. He has filled in the varsity lineup on many occasions and always does so with a great attitude and a drive to get better. Especially this year as a senior, Zach has displayed a totally selfless mindset that has gotten the attention of his coaches and peers. Next year, Zach plans to attend community college and earn his associate's degree. Senior Zach Morrell. Thank you to all the seniors, their parents, families, and loved ones. These past 4 years have flown by, but the memories left behind are the ones that we will cherish forever. The entire West African wrestling community would like to thank all 9 of these great young men for their years of dedication to the sport in our town. Best of luck in everything you do. One more round of applause for our senior wrestling community.
Again, let's have a round of applause for our seniors and their parents. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to West Center High School, home of the Eagles. Today's Colonial Conference 3 Division matchup featuring the Silver Knights of Sterling against your West African Eagles. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you hear the following statement issued by the NJSIAA. There will be no tolerance for negative statements or actions between the Thurston players and coaches. This includes taunting, beating, berating offense, trash talking, or actions which ridicule or false embarrassment to them. Any verbal, written, or physical conduct related to race, gender, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, or religion shall not be tolerated, could subject to violate to objection, and may result in penalties being assessed on extra key. If such comments are heard, the penalty will be assessed immediately. We have instructed not to issue warnings. It is your responsibility to remind your team on this policy. Now, before we meet the teams, let's all rise and move our hats and honor the flag of our national anthem. Tonight's match will start at 132 pounds. At 132 pounds for the Silver Knights, Trey Potts. And for the Eagles, Jacob McConnell and Mike Morrell. At 138 pounds for the Silver Knights, John Toon. And for the Eagles, Tommy Stephanie. At 145 pounds for the Silver Knights, Chris Salto. And for the Eagles, Stephen Birmingham. At 152 pounds for the Silver Knights, Eric Shipley. will receive a forfeit. At 182 pounds, for the Silver Knights, Jeremiah Davis. And for the Eagles, Gavin Shields. At 195 pounds, Eagles 30 Thurston will receive a forfeit. At 220 pounds, for the Silver Knights, Stephen Johnson. And for the Eagles, Dion Cherry. At 285 pounds, for the Silver Knights, Dylan Jess. And for the Eagles, Scirrotto. At 106 pounds, for the Silver Knights, Casimir Gismondi. And for the Eagles, Jacob McDonald. At 113 pounds, for the Silver Knights, Jeremiah Lewis. And for the Eagles, AJ Monahan. At 120 pounds, for the Silver Knights, Brandon Fuller. And for the Eagles, Justin Montel. At 126 pounds, the Eagles, Jake McConnell or Mike Morrell will receive a forfeit.
Good evening. We are live from the Nest at West Everett High School, where the wrestling team will take on the Sterling Knights. Tonight's matchup is a Colonial Conference matchup between two strong teams, and this matchup is going to be exciting. Wouldn't you agree, Coach Morrell?
Absolutely agree. Classic Colonial Conference Liberty Division battle. Sterling walks into the Nest tonight with a record of 12-3. Impressive, needless to say. And just another additional tough opponent on this very difficult West Everett wrestling schedule. Eagles come in at 10-6, but that's a battle-tested, as you would say, a battle-tested 10-6.
I agree. That 10-6, the West Everett wrestling team has definitely faced some pretty good teams if you like to take a look at who they faced, especially tomorrow morning. They have a tough quad going against St. Joe Montvale, St. Augustine Prep, and Clearview. That's going to be a very tough quad to wrestle at tomorrow.
So we're starting at 132, and we have one of our current seniors, Gavin Gismondi, here with us. Gavin's on a little bit of a hiatus as he recovers from a small setback. Gav, good to have you. Wondering, what's your mentality? You wrestle 160 and 170. At what point do you start getting loose? At what point do you start your routine? At what point do you start moving around?
The warm-up routine?
Yeah.
I would say, for me personally, it varies for every wrestler, but for me, 2-3 matches before, really start intensifying the warm-up process. Get a few sprints in, shots, and some quick jacks always does it for me.
John Toomey and Tommy Stepney to start a match. And I'll tell you what, after coaching Tommy in football this year and watching him throughout his wrestling lacrosse career, I don't know that there are many people that you want to set the tone at the beginning of a match other than Tommy Stepney with his toughness and his desire.
I think Tommy Stepney is one of the toughest kids in that wrestling room. He comes in every day, doesn't complain about anything. He just works. And you can see on the wrestling mat, wrestling is a very emotional sport. You can go through it all in a matter of 6 minutes. But no one stays a level-minded and just wrestles not out of control like Tommy Stepney. The way he composes himself is really top-notch.
Got his work cut out for him. John Toomey's 15-0, according to NJ.com, coming in with some real quality wins. So this should be a good one to kick it off. Gav, how important in your experience is the first match of the night in terms of setting the tone?
The first match, definitely, considering Sterling as an opponent, we haven't seen them yet all year. So it's been a full fiscal year since we've seen Sterling, and the first match, the first bout really sets the precedent for what's to come and who's bringing the juice and who's being tough and kind of what you can expect later on in your matchup.
I think an important quote that Coach Morrell said is, "Your first impression is your last impression." Now I know this isn't their first impression of the town West Everett and the team West Everett, but of the specific 2019-2020 team. This is their first impression coming in, that they haven't wrestled us yet, and I believe the first match really does set the tone for what's to come.
And if this is any indication of what's to come, I mean, it's a Donnybrook right now. Both guys trading shots, 0-0, defending well. This looks like it's going to be one of those 6-minute matches where you need to go. The guy that can go the distance is going to be the guy that comes out successful.
6 minutes in this sport is very important. A lot can happen in 6 minutes, as we see Tommy's going.
Need to defend here. Got short time. That short time, I mean, it's different people define short time differently. Some people it's 12 seconds, 15 seconds. I think it's commonly known as about 10 seconds left. And when you hear people start yelling short time, they're reminding their wrestlers, hey, you don't want to give up any cheap points at the end of this period that are going to put you, on the in a negative situation going into the second. So you better fight hard for 10 seconds to make sure you don't give up anything cheap.
Yeah, I agree. You can't let up any cheap points towards the end of a period because then you go into that next period.
Changes your whole strategy.
Yeah, it really does because you have to wrestle a match differently based on if you let up something in 10 seconds, 5 seconds, or less.
And this is where Tommy has made a living over his career, is riding.
Indeed.
And you know better than anybody, Giz. He is a half Nelson. He is a half Nelson and tight weights kind of guy.
Notoriously known for that Tommy half, as we call it in the room. And
nice job by Toomey there.
Yeah,
getting out of it. But I do want to give Tom some credit as well. He's in a bad situation where he could potentially give up 2 there in a reversal. He only gives up 1. This is interesting.
Great duck under attempt.
Yeah.
And Tommy's fighting it off well, staying on his feet, see if he can get out of bounds. He's near the line.
John Toomey is wrestling tough right now against a really tough Tommy Stephanie. This is a great match as of right now. 1-0 John Toomey.
Hey, most 1-0 matches deep in the second period, you would think no action, little room to call a good match. But this right here is looking like it's going the distance, and we're seeing action from both opponents.
To go back to that short time comment earlier, so now you see a situation where Tommy's down 1-0, but he will have choice in the third period. Big needs this scramble, needs to win this scramble, needs to win this scramble. Short time situation here. No points awarded yet.
Needs to free that left arm.
Yes, could go either way here. It's called a scramble situation. Neither wrestler in control. Again, short time.
Oh, needs to watch that arm.
That was a great scramble.
Yeah, great mat awareness by both wrestlers. Tom initially had the first move on him, and yeah.
That just goes in to show how tough these two kids are trying to wrestle this match. John Toomey being really tough and Tommy Stephanie being tough and being smart. Matt savvy.
Well, here we go. He's got to take down 1-0. Had he given up that takedown at the end of the first period, it's a whole different ballgame, but Tommy is clearly still in it. And like we said at the onset of this one, he's gonna be a 6-minute match. So you got 120 seconds. What do you got? What do you got in the tank?
This right here is going to be a huge minute 49 and counting. This can set the tone right here, depending on how this match goes. This match is up in the air right now. If this match goes one way, the momentum swings. If the match goes the other, the momentum's the other way. This is definitely a huge minute right here.
And when you look at Toomey's record, I mean, he's just about evened up in terms of decisions and pins, so he can beat you in multiple ways.
Smart by Tommy.
The key is for Tommy to get to his feet and stay on his base, to put the top wrestler in a disadvantage where he's got to make a decision like right now. If the top wrestler doesn't bring the bottom wrestler back to the mat within 5 seconds, that's a stalling call.
And that stalling call can be important because if you get 2 stallings, you get 1 warning and the next stalling call is a point for the other wrestler. So that predicament right there where you're up and you don't know whether to cut him or not, that cut him meaning you let him go, that's important for how a match can go depending on how the stalls are called.
And Tom really needs his 1-point escape as we're approaching 40 seconds here.
Fresh start.
Given a 15-0 wrestler everything he's got, Tommy no stranger to pressure situations, though, as Coach Iraldi wrote in the senior write-up. It seems like when the match gets the toughest, Tommy becomes his best. So hopefully that can happen in the next 38 seconds as well.
I think that's a great statement to define Tommy. He's a hard worker and he is tough as nails.
Needs to get that arm free.
That kid has that wrist tight.
That is a tight cross wrist ride right there. Let's see if he pops out to the side or if he's in for the ride.
Now we got to scramble.
Tommy has 20 seconds and counting to get up.
It's a great ride by Toomey. All right, now it's going to get interesting.
This
Buckle
is interesting
up.
right here.
Buckle up with the short time ride.
Yep.
He shakes.
Oh.
Wow. Now, if we don't get a stalemate, is that blood or is that a stalemate?
That is blood
It
time.
looks like blood, yeah.
What
That is very convenient blood time right
that is
there.
a tough blood time. Toomey threw his hips on top to try to get the other boot in, which potentially could have Tommy shaking him over the top and maybe coming away with a reversal. 7.8 seconds. Now, you guys in the room, I've been in the room. All right, we've worked stand-ups, escapes in a short time. This is not an impossible feat to get an escape in 7.8 seconds.
Yeah, Tom needs a quick fire stand up here. 7 seconds left. Pretty much, what will you do to put yourself in a position to stay in this match? What will you do? What do you have in your heart, your deepest desires, to fight, get up, and get one?
And that's what it comes down to. Wrestling, more importantly, not just a physical sport, but a very mental sport. In these last 7.8 seconds for any match, not just this match, you can really see what a person's made of, seeing how they fight and how they get up or whatever position they're in. The short time in a close match like this is really defined.
Watching Toomey's ride here in the third period, he's trapped the near arm a lot. Likes trapping that near arm off the whistle. I think that if Tommy's going to have a chance, he's got to clear the load side arm, meaning the arm that John Toomey, to the side that he lines up on when he gets on top. If you don't clear that arm, that 7 seconds will run off like water. If you clear that arm and bring your hips with it, you got a shot. You got a shot.
Yeah, Toomey's been looking for that arm and been getting to that arm quite often as he's been on top for the third period. So it's definitely interesting to see what Tommy's thinking right now as he goes on bottom after there's a blood time.
The unfortunate thing is this blood time in a match really doesn't help Tommy at all.
No, not at all.
And it's not, Toomey didn't want to start bleeding. It just happened, but now both wrestlers get a break. Toomey, who's a very good wrestler, get his wind back a little bit and now is going to be able to ride really, really hard for 7 seconds.
Especially with that position they were just in. It looked like Tommy might get the escape. But that blood time, like you said, unfortunately for one, fortunately for the other, that this is the position that he's in right now. And this is adversity. This is a roadblock. This is stuff that you deal with in everyday life. And in the sport of wrestling, you got to bounce back no matter what. You just got to go with it, and you just got to bounce back and respond.
I'll tell you what, though, if you are the opposing team, there's not another trainer on the planet that you want taking care of you than that man right there. He's in a business of getting people back on the mat. He's not messing around. And Joe Panchella continues to do a great job taking care of the student athletes of South Jersey. Gav, what's your first move here? You're Tommy Stephanie. What are you going to right now?
My first move, clearing that inner arm like you said. You need to free up that wrist and bring your hips with it, just like you said. And once you get to your feet, you got to look and break hands, of course. But we'll see if Tom goes with some Granby roll or...
You can clear the arm. Got it stuck. He's stuck. Got to clear the arm. That's it.
Oh!
Needs to move, switch attempt. Yep.
Well, if that's any indication of what tonight's going to be like, buckle up, everybody. It's going to be a war.
This is a dogfight. That right there just set the tone for a wrestling match, that this is going to be a dogfight of a wrestling match between these two programs.
145 pounds right here. It is West Effort's turn to throw out first.
We'll be throwing out sophomore Danny Varela.
Waiting to hear the call on who this is for Sterling from the table. Didn't hear yet.
145 pounds. The Silver Knights, Scirrotto. And for the Eagles, Dan Morrell.
Now Dan Varela, this isn't Dan Varela's. He's not used to wrestling the varsity level, so this is he's been seeing some action recently. So it's going to be interesting to see how he wrestles in front of a great home crowd that we bring here all the time, and it's going to be interesting to see how he wrestles here.
Good matchup. Scirrotto, 5-6 on the year, so not a ton of varsity experience for him either. A junior in Salto, a sophomore in Varela.
Great fireman's carry by Salto right there, going out of bounds. Varela manages to stay on his feet.
Way to jump the whistle.
That low single right there, that is personally one of my go-to moves off the whistle. I like the low single off the whistle.
However, wrestling is all about reacting, and Danny Varela just defined reaction right there.
Sure did. Great job. It's a great matchup right here. Two young wrestlers. Probably going to be seeing this for the next couple years.
Danny Varela's looking to get to that cross wrist, maybe tilt series a little bit.
Advantage that Danny has in this match is he's a much longer wrestler than Scirrotto. Scirrotto a little stockier, a little shorter, and when you're on top as the longer wrestler, it's a little bit more advantageous when you want to throw cradles and get in deep on different things. Danny, a long wrestler. Good to see him out here this year, and excited to see him get it done at the varsity level.
It stops the initial stand-up move and goes to work on top here.
Like Gavin said earlier, that's great reaction right there. He goes for the initial stand-up. Danny Varela says no. And as he goes, looks like he's trying to get to that cross wrist again. Looks like he's trying to work that tilt.
Yeah, that roll-through tilt. And big favorite move of mine, that roll-through tilt. And let's see how Danny can perform here.
Danny Varela's doing a good job of knocking Alto down on his stand-up attempts. This is like Gavin said earlier, great reaction from Danny Varela off Alto's moves.
One of the best ways to keep another wrestler down on the mat is covering the hips, and Dan Varela keeps constantly staying on them hips.
Yeah, and that's also the sign of a good athlete. It is not easy to keep someone's hips covered. Some guys make it look easier than it actually is. And Danny did a nice job. They're also a goalie for our soccer team. Looking for big things out of him in the future, and has an older brother, Zach, on the team who was recognized earlier on Senior Day.
Danny Varela, like you said earlier, the Varela brothers, Danny and Zach, both play soccer, both goalies, both good goalies. And seeing them in the wrestling room, they are both really athletic.
Danny's got to, on his feet.
Come on, Danny, you got to fight up
Danny
there.
needs to know where his elbow is. When you feel the opponent starting to creep up his hand on top of your elbow, there's a good chance he's going to use that for something. And Scirrotto, to his credit, he hits a nice fireman's carry.
Sneaky indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, that fireman's carry. He went for it earlier, didn't quite get it, but right there he got it. He was looking for 6 right there.
And it's coming again. So right here, you got to be smart in your hand fighting.
Yeah.
Know where your elbows are.
Danny Varela clears it, looks to go for a double.
Take control of the offensive side.
I know, great sprawl attempt. They go out of bounds here.
So now your mentality, and Gav, tell me if I'm wrong, but your mentality as Danny is you're a little bit concerned to start tying up because you don't want to. So now you want all non-contact shots, which are difficult. I mean, a non-contact shot is not easy.
If I'm Danny, I'm fighting wrist here. I'm staying out of the tie-ups, avoiding all elbow passes. I'm fighting wrist, working my pass-bys and my clears to get in on the legs. But Danny looks to find himself some success here.
Well, you know what? There's a great example. That wasn't a pretty shot.
Going in.
That wasn't a pretty shot, but he's so long that he's able to just keep recovering into the body of the opponent and end up getting in on a leg just because of his length.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, length does play a factor in wrestling. As we saw, it wasn't 3 the best shots, but it worked because of the length. He was able to pull that leg in, and as he was pulling that leg, he was able to get to 2 for the takedown.
Well, let's see what Danny goes to here. If he reverts back to that cross wrist he's been liking. He's currently up 5-2 here.
Got a switch coming, looking to re-switch. Got to come back, chase it.
See, in a position like that, that's where a wrestler has to think, do I give up 1 or 2? You don't want to give up any points, but it's important. When a kid hits a good switch, and it's a decision right there in that moment, instinctive. Do you let up 1 point or 2 points? And you always want to only let up 1 if they're in that situation.
Danny's got to clean up a shot. Watch your elbow, Dan. Don't fall asleep. You know Scirrotto is just setting him up on his feet.
Might have gotten saved by the bell right there.
Yeah, Scirrotto, that fireman's carry. It's pretty nice.
I'd like to see Danny on his feet start banging Scirrotto's head a little bit more to try to get him off balance as opposed to going those inside ties.
And not only does banging on the head just get you into your inside ties and stuff, but if you're the other wrestler, that is something that is annoying to deal with. You got a kid just clubbing in on your head constantly. You don't really get to see what he's doing because your head is going down. So I think that's important for Danny to do, especially if he wants to go non-contact doubles.
I know what Gavin said. Gavin's saying, those are two heavyweights talking, of course. We need the middleweights, guys. We don't need the banging on the head stuff here.
Personally, in my experience, the head banging only takes you so far.
Well said from a middleweight, I guess.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Nice job on the hip heist.
That was a great hip heist.
Be careful. Be careful.
Yeah.
Hey, don't go back to the tie-ups, Danny.
And that's one thing you gotta know as a wrestler. As you're wrestling, you gotta find out the tendencies of the guy that you're wrestling. Because we see Scirrotto going for the fireman's carry, so Danny has to do a better job with the hand fighting. As we see Alto's going in for the head.
Win it. You're absolutely right, Michael. And one thing that you notice as spectators, we pick up on those things because we're just watching it. You know, our blood's not pumping. We're not exhausted. When you get out there and you're just absolutely fatigued, you're not thinking about picking up trends of your opponent unless you're a really elite wrestler. You know, Danny Morrell in his first varsity match, he's just trying to survive at this point and win. It's hard. It's harder than people think to pick up those trends, even though he's been hit twice with the firemen's.
No, it's definitely a hard thing to notice because, like you said earlier, you're in the fire, like you're in the battle. Your concern isn't really what is my opponent doing, what are the trends. It's trying to survive and win.
Yep. I'll tell you what, I like to fight in Chris Scirrotto right now. I really do. He is not giving in an inch. He might be down 4 or 36 seconds left, but this is where you got to be careful. This is where he hits you for a big move. And
5-point moves, they can. In this match especially, that 5-point move, that fireman's carry can be huge.
Stay out of it.
You got to stay out of the ties,
Just stay out of it. No stall call.
Yeah, he has no stall call. He can circle. He can peek poking at the head, obviously not in the face.
Oh, watch
out. There it is.
Yep, there it is. Salto.
Crickets.
He needs to fight off his back here.
Fight off
points.
here.
No points
here,
no
Dan.
points. Short time.
Short time, yep.
Short time. Short time. I mean,
that short time right there, that is when you can see some crazy things.
Congratulations to Danny Morrell on his first varsity victory and tying this match up 3-3.
Yeah, demonstrating some grit, some old West Stepford grit in that match.
That match, I like that match. That was a good match to watch. It was exciting, last 15, 10 seconds.
Two young guys.
Two young bucks.
Now the exact opposite of a young buck, an old, savvy veteran. Feels like he's been here forever. Can't believe he's a senior, Stevie Brittingham.
Steve Britt also, like you said earlier, recognized on senior night. This is Steve Britt. He's been here. He's been wrestling 4 years, 4-year varsity letter winner for the wrestling program, and he's no stranger to the West Stepford home crowd.
Eric Shipley, football player for Sterling High School, O-line linebacker.
O-line, that's a great position.
Oh, great shot attempt by Steve.
Controlling that, see Stevie controlling that elbow. He's okay here.
Good sprawl. He's pushing the head down. Steve's still fighting, though, circling around. Still holds that leg, going for the ankle. Steve gets two right there. That's a great fight out of Steve.
Cutting the corner by Steven.
Steve's looking to go to that cross wrist, maybe a little cradle series.
See, I just want him to settle in. Settle in,
Yeah.
Steve. You don't have to go big here. Settle in. Let the match play out.
Transfers that Blair ride. Double boots, stretching him out.
Oh, looking to go power half here.
Always concerned about where the hips are when the boots are in. Always
Hips are a huge factor no matter what position you are on top. Steve not in double boots no more. Still has the leg. Just let go of it. Steve's looking to hop out to the side with the Blair.
Yeah, there's a hammerlock.
Hammer looks like, yeah.
Hammerlock if I've ever seen one. Shipley, a 4-9 wrestler on the season.
Steve looking to football the head, maybe get 6 here for the West Stepford Eagles.
Oh, chin whip.
Steve with a chin whip. Will he settle this? Just settle
Getting
there?
back here? Absolutely getting back here.
Absolutely.
If you can lift it.
That was a nice chin whip right there from Steve.
A nice chin whip, nice mat awareness. Started getting loose on the grip. Just took it right out of bounds. Fresh restart, and Steve will remain on top.
Veteran move right there, hitting the chin whip on the edge of the mat when you know you're safe. Nice smart wrestling there, scoring points.
Steve looks to go for that wrist, it looks like again. Shipley's fighting tight.
Oh, there's the bar.
Yep.
Watch that. You got to get above the elbow. It's going to get stopped.
Got to watch
It's
that.
going to get stopped. That bar's got to be, there he goes. Resets that, boy. Got to stay above
That's
that
looking like
elbow.
a pretty tight bar
Looking
right
for
there.
The stack turns him over.
Oh, here he goes.
Nice job, Steve.
Steve looking for 6. Steve's looking for 6 right here. Will he get the 6 points?
Hey, we're talking about precedence here in one of the first couple matches. Steve, if he set that pin right in the first period, Sterling's got something to watch out for. But
momentum's important. And I feel as of right now, 3-3 match, there really isn't any momentum swinging towards one side of the gym. And a huge pin right there in the first period definitely swings the momentum to West Effort side.
Agreed. I'd like to see Stevie work, though.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing at wrestling, just being patient.
Yep.
You have 6 minutes, obviously divided up into 3 periods, but you have 6 minutes to just really settle it in. Steve's on bottom, Shipley's on top.
lots of forward pressure. Lots of forward pressure.
Shipley, a young sophomore. Sterling teams, some young bucks in the lineup tonight, which is good to see.
It's definitely important and good to see that there's some young bucks in that Sterling lineup as they will develop into great wrestlers. Looking for a power half here, getting that wrist, maybe rolling it over. Steve's fighting hard. Shipley's looking cradle, locks it up.
Steve's got to fight hands here.
Yep.
Break that grip just like that.
Breaks the grip.
And again, Stevie's up 7-0, a savvy wrestler. He's pretty much seen just about all Shipley has to offer on top already. You know he's got a far side cradle.
Yep.
You know he wants to go wrists. So really, with a minute and 10 seconds left, what you're trying to do is just stay calm, be smart from movement to movement, keep your wrists free. All those little things.
I agree. Shipley's looking for wrist. You've seen the cradle that he tried to lock up that he got, but didn't get to finish. You see right here, now this is what we were talking about earlier. We got to stay on your feet. Shipley's looking to pull Steve back into the circle so he can keep wrestling.
And Steve goes with a fresh start.
All right, Stevie, here we go. 49 seconds left. Time to crank it up now. Obviously under control, but you don't want to get ridden for an entire period.
Yeah, that's definitely something you don't want to do because then you go into the third period tired. Like it's tough being on bottom for 2 minutes getting ridden out. So you definitely want to see Steve get out here as he gets the caution.
You don't want your opponent to think that he's in total control on top. In the event that something crazy happens, you end up going in overtime or whatnot, you don't want the other team to know that they're in control in any position. It's good to stand up. Put that foot in the net.
Good stand up. Shipley had the ankle. You see Shipley's looking for that half quite often. He's going up by that head, trying to get that wrist in a half. Wrist in a half is a great move. Definitely looking for 6 here from Shipley.
And he's looking confident. Shipley looks confident.
He does.
You know, we talked about momentum, and he's feeling it right now a little bit, looking big. We need to get back to our feet.
Yeah, I agree.
That's where Stevie makes a living. That's a boy. That's a winner. Stay on your feet now.
That's locked hands. Steve has a free move here, meaning he can do what he wants and it won't hurt him.
I love when everybody yells free move when you're flat on your stomach.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Free move, all right.
A little bit hard to do something when you're flat on your stomach. Shipley's still not looking flustered or anything. He's down 8-0, but you wouldn't be able to tell if you were just watching his facial expressions and the way he's acting.
Got nothing to lose.
Not at all.
Got to cut here. Stay on your feet and cut.
17 seconds, fresh start. Shipley running back to the circle.
Oh, yeah. Making eye contact.
Look at, yeah.
Wrestling at its finest.
Confident wrestler out down here. I think that's definitely important to see. And if you're on the receiving end, that's tough to look at.
Cradle attempt out of bounds.
Cradle.
Agreed. So much of wrestling is mind emotional toughness, mental toughness. It's hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah. 7.2 left in the second period. At the end of the second, Steve's up 8-0. Shipley, though, with an impressive second period.
Interesting.
Shipley chose top. That's definitely based off the second period performance of what he just did.
What Stevie needs to do is, Ship's going for that far ankle.
Yep.
When he steps up, he's got to get him off the far ankle. When he comes up, he's got to get him off the far ankle. It's not what Shipley wants. He doesn't really like that. See that?
Yep.
That's not. He tried to change it up there, but it's not really what he wants as a breakdown. He wants to go to that far ankle.
Yeah, in this instant right now, Shipley down 8-0. Definitely looking for 6 here. He's going to try to score some points, try to build himself out of this hole that he's in as of right now. But
you see some fatigue in Ship too. That's oh man, it is not easy to ride.
Not at all.
For more than a period.
Yeah, and that's why I'm still stuck on this top decision here. We haven't seen a true attempt at a turn by Shipley.
I totally understand where you're coming from, and I agree. I think the Sterling staff is saying, well, Brittingham's probably better on his feet.
Stalling call for Brittingham.
And Brittingham has boots on top. So the best position for our wrestler to not give up more points is on top.
Yeah.
So far, so right. That's it. Stay on your feet here.
Yep, Steve's got to stay on his feet here. Fight them hands. Pop his hips out.
Don't rush anything. Just stay on your feet. Stay on. Yep, good.
Stall
and
call.
Switch. Go ahead, Stevie.
Steve in a good position right here. Now this is a predicament right here. Steve has the leg, but do you want one or two?
It's gonna be a stalemate.
Yeah, looks like there's gonna be a stalemate here. It's close to the edge. Fresh start. I don't know if that's the best move right now. But fresh start.
Ship's starting to show some signs of wear and tear. This is where you got to feel it on bottom and crank it up.
Yep. You saw him spraying back to the circle last period. Now he's huffing and puffing in the third.
He's got a stalling call on him.
Both have a stall call.
Both have a stall call. That's locked hands. Missed it. It's okay.
Steve going for a switch.
Okay.
Just got to stay up. He's locked.
Locked again!
Can't control the officials, everybody.
Yep.
Cannot control
Can't
the
do
officials. Got to keep wrestling.
They're humans too. They do make some mistakes. See, that was a nice switch attempt. I think he fully commits to that switch attempt.
That was indeed a hard switch attempt.
Agreed.
I think that's something he should look back to, considering that Shipley starting to get a little fatigued. I think that switch attempt right there, that was a nice switch. I think he should go back to that. 46.5 seconds here.
Okay, get him off your thigh. That's it. Stay right there. Attaboy.
Steve,
nice
keep
job,
fighting.
Steve.
Now this is what we talked
Just
about
stay right
earlier.
there.
Oh, there it is.
There's the switch.
Done.
Yep.
Commit.
Yep.
You're out.
There's
That's
one.
one. That's one. Oh,
Wow.
no. Great
Ship.
scramble and fight right now by these two. Shipley on the
That's good
ankles.
wrestling. Let me tell you something. That's good wrestling.
That is
by both
great
guys.
wrestling. Yeah, that is great. For a sec, you thought Steve had that switch right there, and Shipley fought hard.
Shipley is determined right now.
Now, if you're Shipley, what are you thinking right now? You're down 8-0. You have 25.4 seconds left. Hasn't been able to really lock anything or get a turn. I don't know what your move is here when you're Shipley.
I think he's just trying to finish this match and not give up any more points.
I think
Walk
this is
off the
definitely
mat
important.
saying, feeling confident that he wrestled a senior pretty tough.
Yeah, this is definitely important as a sophomore, seeing the top ability that he has riding out senior West Effort wrestler. I think this was there's some good losses and there's some bad losses, but I think this is a pretty good loss for Shipley. As we saw, he can surely fight.
Sure can. Stevie, good job on a major decision. It's going to make the score 7-0. Sorry, excuse me, 7-3. Always, the post-match handshake, always an interesting tradition in the wrestling world. Interesting things happen at the post-match handshake.
The post-match handshake, that's definitely like a moment of you two just went through battle, and it's a moment of respect from both sides. That you two just went through a 6-minute war with each other. And I think that it's definitely just a sign of respect, and I think it's something that's definitely important for both wrestlers not to blow off even in loss and or victory. I think it's definitely important. Brad Schultes, another wrestler, was recognized senior night tonight.
9 seniors in all for the Eagles. David Barber, a junior.
Again, another underclassman for the Sterling wrestling team.
2 and 9.
Brad Schultes looking in.
Brad Schultes,
Good shot defense.
first-year wrestler. Well documented in newspapers and throughout South Jersey.
Brad Schultes coming in on his senior year of wrestling for the Eagles. It definitely shows some character right there, as he wants to help this team reach greater heights. Now, last year this team winning South Jersey Group 2, but we weren't satisfied. You definitely want that state title, and Brad Schultes is coming out for a state title. He's not coming out for mediocrity.
Gav, as a fellow senior.
Gav looks to throw that headlock.
As a fellow senior, Gav, did you guys talk him into coming out, or?
It was definitely something we talked about for a while. Great battle right there by Brad, but it was 8th grade year. Brad wrestled, and one would think Brad would maintain this wrestling tradition, I guess, but he fell in love with track, and every year as the time came, hey, Brad, you gonna wrestle? Brad, you gonna wrestle? Track just seemed to be the one, but senior year, last time to do some stuff, and Brad found himself in a position to make an impact on this West Effort team.
Sure did.
It's definitely important. He comes back to make an impact. He didn't come back to just sit and watch. Like, he wants to be a part of greatness, and he offers greatness for this team, as he one of the toughest fighters in the room, I think, personally.
Just refuses to quit. True blue West Effort heart and soul right there, and
Yep.
you saw as that stand-up, Brad's real strength is his lower half.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
all that.
spent a lot of days in Clark Bay in the squat rack with Coach Jacobowski's boys soccer team, one of the biggest squatters on the boys soccer team, if not the biggest squatter. And you saw that right there with the power on that stand up.
Along with that power comes a motor that Brad possesses, and he just does not stop.
Yeah, Brad Schultes is here to fight 6 minutes. He's not looking for an easy way out. If he gets in a predicament where he gets on his back, he's going to fight. He's going to give you everything he has. And I think that is something that's so important, not only for himself, but as a team. You see in one of your wrestlers go out there and give it his all, his 110% out on the mat. You then yourself feel like affected by that, and that you want to go out and do the same thing for your brother.
Impressed with Sterling's fight as well. I will say it.
Yeah.
The wrestlers they put out here are doing the same thing. There's certainly no letdown.
Nope. One thing on top that's important is where your hips are. Wherever your hips are, things can turn quickly. Your hips are sloppy with your hips. Next thing you know, you're on top, and then you could be on your back. I think hips are a very important part of when you're a top wrestler, knowing where they are, knowing what they're covering. And if you get sloppy with your hips, it can turn very, very bad.
Yeah, along with your hip placement, you got to remember your weight distribution.
Yep.
And where your anchors are. You always want some anchors, whether it's an ankle lock or a half ride or
Spiral ride.
Yeah,
Spiral ride, heavyweight right there. Brad Schultes, very tough on his feet. See, he's never just stopping, circling around constantly, looking for his offense, looking for the doubles. His lower body, when he gets those doubles and he has it locked, he's going to finish. He is determined to finish because of that lower body strength.
Barber's got to keep his hands out in front. He's dropping his hands. Second time they've gone nose
Yep.
to nose right there. But in the non-contact position, Barber drops his hands, and when Brad fakes, his hands pop up, and that sets Brad up for an opportunity.
Brad
See his
Schultes
hands
still
down there.
Yep.
There you go. Keep him up. Keep him up, man.
Brad Schultes shoots again.
Get your head up.
He's strength on Brad there, so he's pulling that in as he's
yeah.
getting the
Just
hard
eat that,
crossface.
eat that.
He was eating that
Eat that
crossface. Brad just
Oh,
not
yeah. Love
showing
Storm,
any
And
stop.
that's what happens. Storm, suck your hips up, son.
looking
Suck
for a
your
big
hips up.
lift.
Oh.
Barber gets hit with a Storm call.
Brad showing the strength again, just shoving him off of him.
The funny thing about it, if you walk past Brad Schultes in the hallway, you're not thinking what you're seeing right now.
No, not at all.
Not one bit.
You're thinking, who is this mild-mannered young man with all his books and his 45-pound backpack sprinting over to his honors courses so diligently, and then he comes out here, puts a singlet on, he's
a different person. I think you summed it up perfectly. Brad Schulte's number 2 student in his class by day, stone cold killer at night.
Another great match here. I mean, I'll tell you what. I love it.
There's no shortages of great matches as of right now.
Where would you rather be on a Friday night than in the Nest, checking out an absolute Donnybrook?
The Nest is such a great environment, not just for wrestling, but for all sports.
Yes,
football,
sir. Agreed.
Basketball, everything. Brad Schulte's just pushing the pace.
I get it, but you can't walk into things.
Yep.
And he's got to be careful. You know, Barber, for the second time, it looks like he's looking for a cement mixer. Looks like that's what he's setting up for.
Barber's definitely not looking for much leg attacks as he's trying to see a headlock earlier, cement mixer right there. He's definitely not looking for a leg attack.
He's trying to find his offense through his defense, his shot defense.
Great point.
And seeing just where Brad messes up, the little slip-ups in Brad's technique on his shots when he's coming full speed. If he can catch a cement mixer, like we said, or some other kind of headlock combination, or.
But that's not gonna. I mean, you know, he's down. See, that's why Brad has to be careful where his elbows are.
Yep.
There's
For the headlock.
Yep. Great job, Brad. Finish it.
Brad's
Gotta
gonna
finish
look
it.
to finish.
Take your time. There's
Big
no
lift.
stalling here. Take your time.
Yep.
Big
lift.
Big
Big
lift.
lift.
That's called Carpe
Yep.
Sessions, 3 days a week, 5:30 a.m. from the young man.
Brad has to be careful here
Yeah,
as he's
get your
getting
hips
back
up.
points.
Get your hips on top, right? Get your hips on top, Griff. Talked about it earlier.
Yep.
Start working your hips on top. Barber's a strong kid. If he comes back into you,
Yeah, and he's squeezing hard.
Yes, he is.
that's uncomfortable.
Brad, real strong right here, has a legs locked on Barber's body. Looking for got back points here, maybe looking for pin right here, looking for 6.
I don't know that he's going to get a pin. He's
Yeah,
got to be careful with his hips. See how he's low?
Yep, right there. That's why you got to be
huge
careful in that
hips.
position. I think the one thing Brad Schulte takes away from this match is that you can't just jump right in the shots. You definitely got to set them up. Because when you go against these big, strong kids, they just catch you just diving in. They're going to hit you with a mixer, with a headlock. So I think it's important for Brad to walk away with this win saying, I got to work on my setups.
Another great match. Really quality war right there between two guys.
Another senior victorious on senior night.
It's going to extend West Effort's lead to 10-3. We're already at 170. Here comes the older brother, Zach Varela, filling in fearlessly for the man to my left, Gav Gibbs.
Indeed.
Zach Varela, senior, brother of Danny Varela.
At 170 counts for the Silver Knights, Pete Picaro. And for the Eagles, Zach Morrell.
Zach Varela, like his brother, both very, very athletic. I think that is one thing that's a little deceptive about them. You'd look at it, you wouldn't think much, but these kids are both of them very athletic. You see them in their room, they're good with their hips and they're athletic. I think that's a big thing in how they wrestle.
Senior Pete McCardle, 8-4. Excuse me, 8-3 on the season.
Good strong record right there, 8-3.
I think this is the first senior we've seen for
Yeah. Zach Varela looking, got the wrist.
good
Escape.
Good job on the hip heist. Fresh tattoo. That thing's looking new. Remember when I was in high school, we saw a guy with tattoos and butterflies started coming in a little bit.
Great elbow plat.
Great
elbow pass.
shot. Great finish, too. Looking on top, looking for that wrist again.
Zach is sneaky athletic.
Yeah,
Sneaky
Indeed.
athletic.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. And you haven't really seen anything of his athleticism yet, but if you're in the wrestling room, you see him every day. Some of the stuff that Zach Varela can pull off will amaze you.
Second ride here. Get points if you can. He's got that half
Oh, he's
deep.
looking at half.
That's a Tommy Stepney half
That
right
is. we mentioned earlier, Tommy Stephanie, notorious for that half.
Oh, I love what he's doing to that wrist over there. Roll that thing, put
Yep.
it on the back. Short time ride here.
I think it's important for him to finish on top this period.
Agreed. And if you're going to do that, you need to stay under the arms.
Yep. I think definitely key for him to finish on top with 5 seconds left in the period, going into the second down, up 4-1.
No cheap points here. No cheap points here.
Good mat return. Good mat return at the end of the period to not let up a point.
Quick 4-1 lead.
Zach Morrell goes on bottom.
I'll tell you what, he is his father's son, isn't he? I was looking at his parents during senior, and he looks like a spitting image of his dad. Oh, no.
Interesting what just happened right there.
Gotta break that lock.
Looks like
He
he has
here.
that-
He could come out on top here.
Yeah.
He could break this grip and come out on top.
Looking for the cradle right here. Looks like it appears that he has it locked. When you're in this cradle position, you have to fight hands right here.
Ricardo's got to be.
Oh.
That's trouble. Ricardo's got to be careful about where his hips are when he
Yes.
throws that locks that cradle up too.
You saw right there, almost ended up on his back twice. See, Zach Morrell with the escape.
Ricardo a little straight-legged. Yep.
Good, come on, finish.
Oh, gotta go to work here.
On ahead.
Pete looking exhausted right now.
Yeah. Zach Morrell is still fighting, looking for that half.
Reload.
Yup.
There it is.
Yup,
It's called
yup,
a
yup.
reload. Sticks
Yep.
the
Look,
inside
chest
knee
to chest.
in.
Go chest to chest
Brings
here.
him across the inside
Oh,
knee.
looks like he has it back.
Senior
Pin
right
for
pin.
Zach
Senior
Morrell.
right pin for the senior Zach Morrell.
Great top work by Zach Morrell as he gets a pin on his senior night.
Congratulations, Zach. Extends West Effort's lead to 16-3, and we're already at the 182-pound weight class. Some great matches already. Welcome to the
brothers.
jungle from Mr. Gore, setting the stage for another senior, three-sport captain, Gavin Shields.
Earlier trying to say that Varela, both of them, come out victorious. I think that has to be a pretty cool feeling, both of them going home tonight victorious. As we see Gavin Shields here, senior captain.
Jeremiah Davis, another young sophomore for the Silver Knights, with a great record. 9-1.
9-1, that's a strong record right there.
Sophomore 9-1.
Gavin Shields, also a very strong wrestler. Great record this year, 18-3.
The future is bright for the Silver Knights.
Yeah, they have a young lineup. Gavin Shields has that. Gets the takedown for 2. See what he looks like for on top right here.
You know his boots are coming. Big boots guy.
He's got the Navy ride locked up. Gives up on it, though.
Navies are always hard. It's always tough to get a Navy ride.
Gavin Shields looking for the wrist.
Here it
Oh,
comes.
double boots. Looks like it's coming in. Power half with the double boots.
He's more than confident here. He is more than confident.
Yep.
Came out of the womb with a boot in. So watch your hips.
Yep.
Oh boy. Always got to know where those hips are. I've talked about hips all night long. Jeremiah doing a nice job of fighting it off, though.
Yep. Gavin Shields looking to get some back points here, maybe even a pin.
You saw Jeremiah there roll across his body. That's one of those things that always feels right, but it's not.
No.
Right. Where it feels like, I should do this, and you end up in a bad position.
Yeah. I agree. Jeremiah definitely showing some fight, though, as the young sophomore takes on the senior captain for West Effort.
Looking for cheap backs here.
Yeah, not really known for his tilts, but an attempt there. Let's see if he goes back to the boots.
He's got to take him off his base.
Yeah.
I mean, not if he's throwing boots. I'm talking as an upper weight again. Sorry, Gav.
Us upper weights, we don't really go for that boot stuff.
See, I like that ride right there. He's
Yep.
digging in on that inner thigh there and punching
No.
up through.
No other more dominant position than having 2 boots in and having a guy flattened out.
Yeah.
Hard to get out of right there.
In that position, you look power half, get the pin, get some back points out of it. It's a great position to be if you can get there. I agree.
Good
Switch attempt.
Gotta reach inside there. Gav's got to watch his shoulder level here.
Jeremiah gets out.
Jeremiah needs to be careful walking into something. Gavin
Yup.
has some throws.
That crossface is mean. If you've been in the wrestling and you wrestled Gavin Shields, you have felt his crossface.
Yeah, not too pleasant, if I say so
Ooh.
myself.
Ooh,
Young sophomore opening up.
little jiu-jitsu action there. Any points? No points there?
No points there. No points. Great fight out of Jeremiah from Sterling.
Here you go, Gav.
I know I'm going to show signs of my age here, but I'm just curious about the leg sleeves that I see
I
nowadays.
really did want to comment on that, but I didn't know if it was.
I was trying to understand the purpose. I guess it keeps the blood flow. Griff,
I don't
you're
know.
a big leg sleeve guy. I
The
feel
knee
like.
pad is currently not on the knee right now, and Griff.
Yeah,
Griff's a big, what do you call it, swag? Griff's a big swag
yeah.
guy.
Nowadays we
Big
call it
fellas.
drip.
Okay.
Drip or APR. I know it's definitely something to think about. You want to look good, feel good, play good. So I think it's definitely a thing here. Trying to look good for the opposing team. Maybe see some girls out in the stands. He might want to see.
Oh, good head snap. Oh.
That's why that head snap can be important right there.
In a good place with that wrist out in front. Yep. He didn't clear that arm all the way across. Can score here with a drag. Can score with a drag here. He's trying.
Short
Cannot
time, right?
give up points in short time here.
Short
Cannot.
time right here.
Cannot
Cannot
give up
points.
points here. Cannot.
Hard fought. 5 seconds right there.
Tough call.
Oh, 2 was given to Jeremiah from Sterling.
Delayed 2. You
See
know,
Coach
and speaking
Nick
as
already.
speaking as a coach, what you just want to see deliberate calls.
Yep.
So if you think it's 2, call it 2.
Yep.
Don't hold it.
Gav, you're good. Here we go.
And then don't hold it for 4 or 5 seconds and then show it after everyone is assuming that you're not going to call it. You know, but to each their own. You know, I'm not going to believe me, I'm not in this business to criticize officials.
Yeah, but you can't control the officials like we said earlier. So I think it's important for Gavin Shields to just put that behind him. It happens. People give up takedowns. But I think it's important for him to put that behind him and just wrestle this match as he's down 3-2 right now.
Great point, Griff.
I will say, though, Jeremiah from Sterling has been fighting tough
Very impressed.
this whole match against a good wrestler, Gavin Shields.
Very impressed. Sophomore, 9-1.
Sophomore.
He's 9-1 for a reason. And he's showing it tonight.
Tied match, 3-3 as Gavin Shields get the escape as they're back in neutral.
Again, I want to say how impressed I am with the toughness of the Sterling lineup.
Yep. I think toughness is definitely important. You might not be the best, most talented team, the fastest team, the strongest team, but if you wrestle with some toughness, there can be some good things that come out of that. Third period back in neutral. 1:10 left in the third.
3-3, Gav. Let's see some offense here, pal.
What's your go-to right now? Your ultimate go-to, either wrestler. What are we looking for?
Well, Gav loves the shrug stuff, the Russian stuff, controlling the wrist, clearing it by. He used to have a cross grain high crotch.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him hit it much this year, but he's got it there. What you don't want to do is you don't want to hang till overtime. Don't wrestle for overtime. He's in deep.
Gavin's in deep.
I'll put the hip on
right
the mat. Yep. Finish here.
Looking
Great job by Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Great job fighting off. You got to win this scramble. You're in deep. That's as good as it's going to get.
2 for Gavin
Outstanding.
Shields. 2.
Outstanding. Veteran wrestler.
Yep.
Up 5-3. And this is what we talked about earlier, Griff. You do not want to give up any.
Nope. If you're going to give up a point, you're going to at least give up one, not two. Then you go into overtime, which is always uncomfortable.
There it is. Let him go.
Yep.
And that's it.
See, right there.
Exhibit A.
Savvy wrestler right there. Just let
Watch
him
your
get his
elbow.
one.
No dumps. No dumps. Dump meaning that he pulls, that Jeremiah grabs up high on the tricep and pulls Gavin's shoulder down as he hip plays through.
0.5 left in this match as Gavin Shields looks to come out victorious, 5-4.
Congratulations, Gavin.
Winner by decision for Eagles, Gavin Shields.
Big thing for that match is how tough and how impressive was Jeremiah from Sterling during that matchup.
Agreed.
If I'm Jeremiah, I'm walking out feeling good. Maybe a little upset knowing I could have won that match, but definitely feeling good.
Someone I am super excited to see wrestle here.
Score 19-3 for West Effort.
And
West
there
Effort
it
gets a
goes.
forfeit. West Effort gets a forfeit, 25-3. West Effort lead going into the 220-pound weight class.
This is one of my favorite starting football players
Yeah.
right here.
At 220 pounds, the Silver Knights,
Stephon Johnson. He's been around for a long time, man. Senior all-conference offensive defensive lineman. Got a lot of respect for that kid going against our very own Tion Sherry.
The one thing I can definitely say about Stephon Johnson from Sterling is that I personally have lined up against him and played against him this year when we played them in football. And he is a tough kid.
Yeah.
He definitely earned my respect. Tough kid, great defensive tackle.
Looks like 9-6 record for Stephon.
Tion Sherry and Stephon battle 2 D tackles. Stephon looking to go for 2 as he gets Tion Sherry fighting hard.
Tion
Front
4-0
head
in
position,
here.
just driving.
Tion needs to be careful. These upper weights have some sneaky throws.
Yes.
You start running into things. Next thing you know, you're laying on your back counting ceiling tiles.
Yep. I know personally, I'm an upper weight. I like to go for some throws. If I feel it's there, I like to throw it.
Tion, just what's makes Tion so dangerous is as a big guy, he's got some really explosive takedowns. And you don't see that often. When he goes, he goes.
Trust me, I can tell you, being his practice partner for 2 years, Tion is very strong, very explosive, and he's a pinner. He's definitely a pinner. He's going out looking for 6.
Yeah, he's got more gas in the tank than people think.
Yes.
A little clock watching right there, which I don't love, but wow, it's an early stall call.
That is early.
Stephon.
Especially from an active matchup between these two.
I don't mind it. The one thing that always catches people off guard when you tie up with Tion is his power.
Yes. That power is, you definitely feel when you tie up with this kid. That's why when I wrestle in person, I try to stay away from the tie-ups.
Oh, good job.
Oh, yeah.
Gets the takedown right
That's
there.
a short time
Yep.
takedown.
That is huge.
Now he's got to be smart about his ride.
Yep, finish on top right here.
One area that Tion continues to work on in his improvement as a wrestler is his ability to ride on top. He's still an inexperienced wrestler,
Yeah.
and it's not easy. He's got to be aware of some rolls here.
Yep.
Know where his wrist is. That's a spot ride right there.
One thing that makes Tion dangerous on top is that strength, and you definitely feel it.
Not where you want to be, T. Not
Nope.
you.
Nope.
Not you. He's not a cradle guy. You're a half. You're an arm bar.
Yep. Hammer lock.
Attack wrist. Good
Gets
job
him
on
flat.
the ankle. Got to go to the
Hammer.
wrist now. Go to the wrist.
Wrist, hammer lock. Definitely got to look right there as excuse me. Stephon is flat.
Check your hips. No, not
Nope.
get back. Get back.
Like we said earlier, hips can't be sloppy up there with your hips. You
I
become
don't
very
understand why
dangerous.
he's trying to throw this cradle. It's just his arms aren't long enough to throw this cradle against a powerful kid like Stephon.
Yeah.
Much rather attack those wrists.
And I think he should go to a hammer lock or a half right here, as he did just have Stephon flat. When you have a wrestler in a flat position and being as strong as Tion, I think it's definitely important to go for a half right there.
Jiminy crickets. Let go.
Tion got a belly out in that position. Stephon looking for 6. Stephon got 2 and 2 right there.
A great job by Stephon.
Yep.
Taking advantage of opportunity. Tion Tips got loose, trying to hit him with his own cradle. But also a really nice job by Tion fighting off his back.
It's hard to fight off your back when you got 220 pounds just flat on you, but way to go by Tion to fight off his back right there as he gets to escape 4-3 Stefan.
If you're watching this, you better put your seatbelt on because it can get exciting real quick.
Yes, it can.
25.
Exciting matchup so far. We've seen a really exciting second period, especially in the last 45 seconds to a minute. Really exciting second period. Short time left, about 7 seconds. Tion's in on the leg.
No two.
You got to be careful here. You either get to or don't give up anything. Tion gets the choice here in the third period. Chooses bottom as he's down 3-4. Stefan chooses to go neutral with him.
Hey, your shot, here it comes.
That neutral call tells me that Stefan struggles a little bit on top.
Your shot, Tion.
And he might be a little bit more confident on his feet as a top position, down one. You don't want to give up such an easy point.
Exactly. And people are saying, well, why? That just tied the matchup. Well, you know, Stefan doesn't want to get reversed for two and end up losing the match that way or get thrown to his back on top of it.
Exactly.
Clearly, the Sterling coaching staff knows what his strengths and weaknesses are.
Not only the coaches, but Stefan himself, knowing that he's probably better on his feet, getting to his leg attacks, maybe a sneaky throw here and there.
How about that little outside single action right there? I haven't seen that from him all night.
Good outside single.
On the edge of the mat, where it's safe. You don't want to see him try to hit that in the middle.
Pushing the pace, push the pace.
Minute 20 left in the third period. Tie match between the 220-pounders for West Effort and Sterling.
Push it.
Tion going level changes, looks to go for double there. Stefan with a strong front head.
Tion wrestling up a little bit.
Yep.
He's probably waiting at 195.
Take him back up, let's go.
Wrestling a true 220-pounder.
Yes.
Gotta keep those elbows in when he goes. Oh.
The thing with Tion wrestling up, he's so strong that there might be a weight difference, but he can go with the weight difference because of his strength.
Don't forget that Stefan has a stall call.
He does have a stall call.
There's a legit shot. Tion takes one or two more shots. He get hit again and win by a point on a stall call.
That is a good catch right there, as that second stall call will be a point for Tion if he keeps pushing the pace and going for something. But right now, Stefan's looking active, looking to get to his shots.
Score.
Tion, pull that in.
Behind.
You got to pull that in and get behind for your two.
You can't flee the mat.
Fresh start. 26 seconds left.
Honestly, if I'm Tion here, I'm going on
Hey,
the
right
wrestle.
at him.
Yep.
I'm going.
Right at him.
Cut it loose, man.
Yeah, I think he pushed the pace right here. Could get a stall call, as we saw early stall call.
Pump the head and go. Pump the head and go.
He's got the stall, go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stefan. That's not
not a
good.
good
That is not
situation.
good.
Not a good
Tion's got to
situation.
fight strong here. Tion, whoa! Tion's got to hip up.
Got 3 seconds to go. No points. No
One.
points.
What a chaotic last 6 to 7 seconds right there. And you didn't know what was going to happen.
And you want to talk about athleticism out of the big guys. That was a great showing right there.
Hit by both of them.
Two of the best defensive linemen in the Colonial Division of the West Jersey Football League right here, just going at it.
Right at him. He's
Definitely
got the
scary to
stall,
see on a
right at him.
football field, and it looks to be that they were scary on the mat as well.
That last shot at the end of the period from Stefan may have earned him some credit with the official here.
Yeah.
Tion's probably going to have to shoot 1 or 2 more times to get another stall call.
Maybe a little fatigue showing from both of the wrestlers. Tion's looking to snap down,
No.
looking headlock right there.
Score,
That's
score,
not the
score.
strong suit right
Gotta
there.
score, just go behind.
Front head, just
Go
all you have to do is just go behind,
Go
get two.
Go behind. 2, that's it.
There it is. Tion pulls it out in an overtime thriller. Great match by Tion and Stefan.
Great job by both guys.
It's a great match right there.
Attaboy, Tion.
Great job, Tion.
Tion Cherry comes on top 6-4. Tough and great match by those two right there.
Extends the score 28-3.
Senior
West
Tassir Money comes out for the 285 weight class.
Don't let that 28-3 be deceiving. It has been a war.
Oh,
Every
100%.
match has been a war. There's only been one pin.
Yeah. There's a forfeit in there, so the score might not really predict or show what's really going on.
Another battle of two of the best linemen in the Colonial Division. Dylan Jess, offensive tackle, defensive tackle, all-conference player for Sterling against Tassir Money, an all-South Jersey offensive lineman.
As Money gets in on that single. That's a great single right there, like Gavin just said. Looking to pull it in and finish here for Tassir. Dylan Jess.
Finish.
Yeah.
I don't care how. It's not great. It's not great unless you finish with two. Come on,
Dylan Jess fighting strong right there with his hips. Good sprawl. Dylan Jess looks to go single off the whistle. Dylan Jess with the throw. Money defending
Incredible
well.
hips. Ridiculous hips for Money right there.
Me personally also wrestling Money in the room. It is not easy to throw Tassir. Dylan goes headlock right there.
Money flattens out. That's the move. Money flattens out. No, I don't know that that's two.
I don't think that's
Money
two
can
right
pop
there.
his head and come out with two here.
I don't think two yet, no.
Yeah, Money's going to come out with two here. Pop your head and you got two.
Yeah, Money pops his head, he'll get two right
Pop
here.
your head and you got two. Now it's two. Two for Money.
Two for Money, yep. Good toughness right there from Money. That's a hard position to be in. Money on top right now. 2-0 minute left in the first period.
Dylan, 5 and 6 according to NJ.com. Tassir Money.
Tassir going for spiral ride, got the wrist. See what he looks to go here.
15 and 4, Tassir.
15 and 4. That's a
matches this year.
great record.
Keep fighting him.
See what it's to do with that wrist.
Put it on his back. Keep his hips covered up. Two hands. He's got to put, there you go.
Yep, he's going hammer lock right here with the
Now
hips
pressure
covered.
it,
Yep,
yes.
football in the
drive
head.
across his
Yep,
face. You got to drive across his face.
He's got to finish that. Good chest to chest. Big right there.
He's got to
Yeah, you can. He gets a pin right there. Senior Tassir Money gets a pin on senior night.
What was critical about that was him putting two hands on one wrist. Did he just wink at the camera?
It appears to be that he just gave the camera a stare down and pulled his singlet.
Tell you what, he stares like that over here again. He and I are going to end up in the middle of that match.
And that is something you do not want to experience.
I would like to call that a subliminal flex right there. Puts it in the back of your mind.
Extends the lead 34-3, and here we go from the big guys to the little guys.
Jacob McDonald, 106-pounder West effort.
Here you go, Jacob.
Jacob McDonald, I'm gonna say he is maybe the toughest wrestler on the team, and he's maybe the biggest team player. The kid, he goes out there for the team. He's selfless. He goes out there. He's wrestling for the team, and there's been some matches where it's come down to him doing his job, and he's done more than his job. He's wrestled some great kids, and he's done what he had to do. He can go behind right here, gets his two. Jacob on bottom. See what Jacob does here. Tough kid. He's fighting. He's up on his feet. Fresh start. Fresh start for Jacob McDonald as they get back in the middle of the circle. See what Jacob has right here. Comes up, gets the wrist. Jacobs continues to fight. Looks like we have a tough top rider right here. Looks like he just went for a half.
Trying to get the name of
a wrestler from Sterling. Looking to go wrist, maybe tilt series he's looking for. Jacob gets up to his feet.
I don't know his name, but I know he's good.
Yeah. Fresh start again.
It's Cash genre.
We got his name. Jacob McDonald is fighting tough here. Jacob looking to get one here. He's got the leg in. Jacob fighting tough. Still fighting tough here. Jacob gets a reversal. He's up tied 2-2 right now. Great fight by Jacob McDonald right there. Sophomore 106-pounder. Little restart. Headgear has to be adjusted. Jacob McDonald looking for a half. Important for Jacob to finish on top here. 11.9 seconds left.
2-2. Going upstairs to our resident aficionado of South Jersey Wrestling, Mr. Billy Gore.
I can't give up 2 here. He's definitely got to fight hard. At least give up 1 if you're going to give up something. 3 seconds left. 2, 1. No points were let up right there. They just gave him a late 1 neutral.
Oh, did he wave it off or did...
No, he gave him the 1. Like you said earlier, Coach, I don't know if the official was confident enough with that call as he calls it late.
It says cash. It's cash genre. Cash has a lot of wins and very few losses. I'll tell you that right now. It looks to be about 12-4, 12-3.
Interesting. It looks like they gave Cash 2 right there rather than the 1. Ref late change, gave the 1 at the end of the period. It appears that he changed it to 2. Jacob McDonald looking for up top move, throw. Cash looking to get some backs right here.
Can get backs
Gets
here.
2. Cash
Get
getting
backs.
backs. Fresh start.
No backs. 2 for a takedown, no backs.
Scores 6-2 right now. Cash is up.
The McDonald family and my family, we see them in church every Sunday, 7:30 Mass. Great kid, great family, such a tough worker.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. That family, they're such a great family. They're definitely hard workers. Jacob McDonald being the kid that I get to see the most. And I think one thing about Jacob McDonald, tough position here, but he is a great kid.
That's the old bulldog maneuver right there. Cash, a junior. Whenever you're a junior, an upperclassman at a lighter weight, I mean, Wrestle 106 as a junior, you're basically a man against boys.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that Cash is going to continue to have a great season. Been around for a long time.
Impressive outing by Cash as he gets the pin. Scores now 34-9 West Effort. A.J. Monahan coming out for the West Effort Eagles. Strong 113-pounder. Jeremiah Lewis from Sterling. A.J. in on the shot. Gets his 2. Oh, he goes mean crossface, mean. A.J.'s looking to set the tone often and early. A.J. maybe looking cradle right here as he's trying to get that leg up.
Scrappy Jr. Also a soccer player.
Yep.
Quite a few soccer players. Football guys.
I think that's one thing that's definitely important, the multi-sport athlete here at West Effort. I know we preach it, and it's going to be hard to find some kids that aren't involved in a club, activity, sport, any of that at West Effort. All students are involved. And as you see on the wrestling team, a lot of multi-sport athletes. I don't know if there's any one-sport athletes on the team, honestly.
I think one of the biggest positives of being a multi-sport athlete is that the pressure that comes along with competing is not nearly as great when you're a multi-sport athlete. Because you're in it all the time. It becomes second nature. It becomes the life that you live and the life you enjoy to live. As opposed to maybe single-sport athletes who, when the lights are the brightest, they struggle a little bit.
Culture at West Effort is we do stuff here. We were active in clubs, marching band, sports. We're active. Like I said earlier, it's going to be hard to go down the hallway at West Effort and find a kid who's not involved.
Yeah, and talking about pressure, there's no pressure like being on the mat in front of the home crowd and putting on, and being a multi-sport athlete definitely contributes to
A.J. Monahan getting 6 right there.
Yeah. Nice job, A.J.
Way to work on top.
It's going to make it 40-9. It's moving to the 120-pound weight class, and one of my favorites to watch.
Justin Monzo is definitely a great wrestler to watch. As lighter weight, so there's going to be movement, but the way that he wrestles is just exciting. There's never a dull moment in a Justin Monzo match.
Justin, he's just a sophomore against Brandon Sola, a senior.
Sophomore versus senior matchup. These two already
A 14-2 senior.
14th, good record. As you see, these two are already getting into it. 20 seconds in.
Brandon's got to finish here.
Justin fighting hard, though, not giving up easy. Justin now looks to score.
Justin needs to clear his leg.
Yep.
Get his hips out and work on his short offense. And,
interesting position right there. Could have been called for a stalemate. Ref let them wrestle and back up to their feet. Like Coach stated earlier, we see Brandon, another long wrestler, able to pull the leg in using that length. But Justin just not letting up.
Great athleticism and flexibility by Justin.
Brandon has the leg. Justin's fighting mean, looking to square his hips up.
Stay up, stay up, stay up.
Be
You're
smart
okay.
right here. Yep.
Now, if Brandon pops his head up, Justin could throw it.
Way to work, Justin.
These two have been wrestling the whole time. Whole minute and a half of just wrestling and scrambling around.
Neither wrestler in an advantageous position. No, you got to watch your hips. Get your hip up, get your hip up, get your hip up. That's going to be two.
Yep, going to be two for Brandon. As he looks to work on top. Justin getting up to his feet.
Attaboy.
Not going out.
So a good sign that Justin was able to get right back up to his feet.
Justin on bottom, Brandon back on top. 17 seconds left. Brandon's up 2-0. Justin fighting hard, trying to get up to his feet.
Get one in short time, Just get one in four.
Oh.
Get your one now. Get your one now. Get your one now. Yeah, get your one. Get your one.
It looks like Brandon is pushing him off the mat a little bit. Looks like he's getting on his leg and just driving him off the mat.
I'm seeing Justin feeling like he's got an opportunity to possibly hit something big.
Yeah. Trust me, he's used to hitting big stuff. Tough right there. Almost gets one at the end of the period.
Nice stand up though.
Into his second period, Brandon's up 2-0 on Justin Monzo. Justin defers. Brandon goes bottom. See what Justin looks to do on top here as Brandon chooses bottom.
I got a feeling this match can come down who's got more gas in the tank in the third period.
I agree. But don't be shocked if Justin Monzo hits something big here. We got looking for a half, it appears to be.
Good job by Brandon being patient down there.
Yep.
Not really, not panicking. You know, he's up 2-0. He's being smart with his hips, clearing the entries.
Justin looking for a half.
Looks like he's got it deep.
Yeah,
he's got
he does.
It deep. If he can reload it across the inside.
Brandon is fighting hard, though. Do not let him get it easy. That is a tough position to fight. Justin no longer has the half. Looking at the wrist right now.
Brandon's hanging on to that arm right there.
Yep. Justin gets the half back on.
Put the bottom knee in, pull him across the bottom knee, and turn it.
Yep.
There
Justin looking to fight. Got to be careful with his hips right here.
I'll tell you what, the critical thing is that Justin rides.
Yep.
You can just ride with that half in.
Yep.
And you're not going to get caught for stalling because it's
As you're attempting to do something.
pinning combination.
Yep. Justin looks for a half again. Going power half. Let's go of that. Looks to go for the wrist again. Maybe a cross-face turn.
Gavin, how frustrating is it when you're on top and you're working all these moves and you just can't get them to go? How hard is it to stay patient?
Well, tough position right there, but being patient is all about your mindset and what you're looking for. If you can find different avenues on top, if you're working a wrist and it somehow converts into a half, and what you can do with the half, and opportunity to put in boots, okay, sure, and just whatever presents itself at the time, and what works for you, and it goes all into being patient. But if you're going to be persistent with that half, like Justin was just doing, then commit to it and keep bumping. And right now he's got a tough bar in, and we're going to see him in the third period probably take bottom, and he does.
Outstanding job. Strategy pays off. Justin defers, rides the entire second period. You'd love to come away with points, but next best thing is to ride and not give up points.
Yep. Justin's down 2-0 on bottom right now, looking to get one and then two.
Reversal. Here we go.
Oh,
yeah, and we're talking about gas in
One
the
now,
tank.
two. Yep.
And nothing takes your gas just like being ridden out for an entire period.
This is a big moment right
Yep.
here. This is a big moment right here.
Justin's looking for
This
two
is a
and
big
maybe
moment.
more. He's looking to lock up the cradle. Big thing here if you're looking for a cradle, head in the side.
But you want to be smart. Don't force it.
Yep.
You got your two. Get behind. Go back to work on top.
I think that's important. With him having the lead right now, 3-2, I think what he's shown last period of just riding on top, I think he goes back to that as he's trying to do right here.
Got to get that lead leg
Yep.
free. He's got to get it free.
Brandon looking for maybe a reverse
Cannot
ring.
give up two here, Griffith.
Can't. You cannot.
Sorry, I'm stepping all over you.
See what happens right here.
Got to check his hips. He's got to
Yep.
check his hips.
Hips are important when you're on top. Really important.
That left leg has to get free.
Yep.
That left leg has to get free.
Look, nothing there. Nothing there.
Still in control.
Brandon giving us a little more than we thought he had in the third period
Yep.
here, fighting to stay alive for a victory.
Looked a little fatigued in the beginning of the third period, but fighting tough right there. Now, wasn't rewarded any points or anything. Justin still on top. Brandon goes on bottom. 39 seconds left to see what Justin can do.
Big 1-2 situation here.
Yep.
Can't get called for stalling either. Be careful with your hips. Hip up, hip up, hip,
Hip up, yep. Brandon's has the heel, it looks like. Now he's got the ankle.
Interesting configuration here.
23 and counting left in the third.
Watch his knee! Watch his knee! Watch his knee!
Got to dig his face off. Got to take his face off. Got to cross face. him
Short
off.
time right here. Tough situation. Let's see what happens. Justin
Good
gets
job,
behind.
Justin.
Way to fight. Got to be
Hip up,
careful right
hip
there.
up,
Got to be
hip up,
careful.
hip up,
Has
hip
to be
up.
careful.
Watch his knee!
Justin escapes that one right there. Scary situation.
Great match. Big win by
Yeah.
Justin right there. Being a senior with 14 wins. Nice job.
That's a great win right there.
Final match is, no, I'm sorry. 2 matches to go here.
Got a forfeit at 126, I believe.
Little powder keg.
No forfeit? No? Michael Morrell, sophomore, West effort.
26 pounds for the Silver Knights, Kevin Stubbs. And for the Eagles, Mike Amarello.
Mike Gamarello, very strong kid.
Kevin Stubbs, another sophomore. And get this, double-digit wins. As a matter of fact, only 2 losses. I'm going to venture to guess he's about 16 or 14 and 1. One
Wow,
loss.
1 loss.
So cool.
That is very impressive for a sophomore, 126-pounder. Kevin from Sterling. Mikey looks to go cradle here.
Oh, and it's locked
Oh,
up.
he has it locked up. That is a strong lock right there. Kevin's fighting, though. Gets out of it to Michael.
You know what I like that Mike did right there? He did not try to force the cradle.
Nope.
He had it locked up deep, and he said, you know what? I'm not in a good position. I'm going to cut it loose and get a fresh start.
Michael's been wrestling really well recently. It's the past week and a half. Becoming smarter, more match savvy what to do when in positions like that. And I think right there is a great example of him becoming smarter on the mat.
I do not like that mat return, though. Anytime your hips hit the mat before your opponent, you're in trouble.
Yep. Hips are such an important part.
Go to the head right here.
Yep,
Go to the
head,
head,
go
right
to the
here.
head
Go to
right there, yep.
here.
He wants that cradle. It's there.
Great job scrambling through that, though.
Michael,
Now, see how he's just hanging behind his hips? And Kevin's doing a nice job with a big base? That's where you got to come out to the side, and you got to lock and lift in the crotch.
Yep.
right? Mat return that way, fishing for a half. Those guys get a big base. You're not going to mat return in the traditional way.
Michael, they get a fresh start. 41 seconds left in the first period.
Now, I don't like
Yep.
it. Your hips on the mat first.
Tough
Mike.
position. This can turn out very bad for him.
Gotta keep his hips on top. Tilt, little tilt.
Yeah, Mikey does like to go to the tilt.
Cut him.
Yep, caught him right here. He could get a
Caught
stall.
him,
You
he
don't
got a
want
stall
that.
call.
Yep. "14 seconds left in the first period. Michael's up 2-1 on the head. Short time.
Mikey kind of, we talked about how advantageous it is to be a longer wrestler earlier. We were talking about Danny. And we were talking about Chris Sola from Sterling and how they were so long. Michael is the exact opposite.
Yep.
Right. Very compact, but extremely powerful. And is learning how to wrestle
Yep.
to his size, to his build, which is smart.
I think that's important for him, especially with he could be in some disadvantages, especially with the size being a thing. But what he lacks in size, he makes up in strength. I think that's important. With that strength, when he learns the technique, the mat awareness, becoming more mat savvy, that can definitely make for a great combination of a wrestler. Oh,
Nice duck.
that was pretty nice. As he gets it on the leg, looks to finish, has to get that leg free.
He's got to keep Stubbs' hip on the floor.
Yep,
Keep his
and
hip
got
on
to
the
get that
floor.
leg free.
Nice down, man.
Mikey's got to get that leg free and get behind. Looks like he
Nice
might
job
get his
blocking.
chin.
Nice job blocking. Step over.
Yep,
Two.
that step over right there.
Yeah, sink them.
2 for Michael right there. Good fight to get 2 right there. Mikey going back to the wrist.
It's a better ride.
Yep. I think that's where Michael wants to get to. He wants to get to that wrist, wants to get to his tilt series. I think that's where he feels comfortable.
I like the float. That's good float. That's good
Yep.
float. Just know your hips.
Something we definitely work in the wrestling room, floating. We have multiple drills for that.
Oh.
Kevin gets in on the legs. Michael fighting strong, though. Not let him get anything
He walked
easy.
right into it.
Yep.
Get in a stance.
Yep.
Get in a stance. And that won't happen.
Yep.
See Michael's hands?
Mhm.
Where are they? Down.
Yep, they're down.
Down. Now he's reaching.
Yep.
He's got to stay within himself here. His fatigue taking over a little bit here.
Yeah, Kevin is seeing this, as we talked earlier about analyzing and seeing what your opponent's giving you. Sees Mikey's, weird position right there. Kevin went for a little throw by right there, appears to be. Kevin in on the head. But Kevin's obviously, looks like he's seeing what Michael's giving him, seeing hands low, hands out, not really in the stands, looking to get a blast double going right there.
Is you aware of where your hands are all the time? Or you just kind of, your feet dictate?
Right out, Mikey.
As Mikey showed right there, he was getting a little lazy with his hands, but for sure you want to keep them tucked in. Remember,
Maybe I'm just too.
yeah. Well, back in the day, Coach Jimmer taught me to always keep your armpits like nice and warm, and keep your elbows tucked in there. So,
Shout out to Coach Jimmer Shields and the
Yeah.
youth wrestling program.
and it's just becomes a force of habit, and Mikey needs to really work on that, and finds himself in a tough position right now.
I feel as you get fatigued, though, that your hand placement becomes a minute detail as you really don't pay attention to it, as you're letting your fatigue take over. Mikey looking to go headlock right here
Yeah,
and finish
shrugged
that.
off that arm.
Yep.
Well, minute details is, that's what it's all
Detail
about,
is
it
everything,
not?
yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
not the sign of a champion?
No, it definitely is. If you want to be a champion, those small details is what's going to make you a champion. And when you let up on stuff like that, like your hands, you're going to let kids get into your legs easier.
Quick shout out, upper top portion of your screen. You'll see in the gray West Effort football hoodie, my father, class of '76, Tom Morrell, out for the match tonight. Got off shift, nothing better to do, come over to the nest.
The nest is a great place to be for people of all ages. I agree. And if you came to the nest tonight, you're seeing some great wrestling.
Sure are.
Score might not reflect it, but the matches
35,
been
Mikey,
great.
keep working.
Stubby's battling right now. All he needs is a couple quick back
Up,
points.
up, up, up.
Yeah,
Obviously,
stalling on Michael.
he's got to be careful here.
Yeah.
Kev caught him.
Kevin
Got his one.
Michael got one
Kev
right
gets
there. One thing about Kevin, he's pushing the pace right here. I think he's now aware of the stall call. If he gets a stall, if Michael gets another stall call and Kevin gets a takedown, we're going to see an
Well, you
overtime
know what's
match.
coming. Yeah, there's going to be a big
Yep,
move coming.
yep.
here.
He's going right for it right now. Yep.
Don't hit the gator. Watch the gator roller. Scream from the sideline.
Oh,
Here goes
don't
the
walk
throw.
into
Don't
it.
walk into
Nope,
a throw.
nope. He's gonna walk right
sag
into
your
it.
hips. Sag your hips.
Yep. That is not a position you want to be at with 5 seconds left. With you pushing the pace, not at all the position you want to be in. That can end very badly. Michael edges that one out 8-5.
Winner by decision for the Eagles, Mike Morrell.
All right, Michael. All right, young man. 46-9. And in the final bout of the night, and one of the toughest wrestlers in South Jersey, senior Jake McConville, one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, this is definitely a matchup that you always love to see. Jake McConville versus anyone. Jake McConville, I know personally, definitely one of my favorites to watch. As some of the stuff he hits is just poetry in motion. Personally, I think so.
Sophomore, believe it or not, Trey Potts. Just, they're so young, man. It's really, it's impressive the way they're battling. And
Another football player, I believe. Trey
Yes,
Potts.
sir.
Another football player.
Looking like a 9-4, 10-4 record for Trey.
Not bad for a sophomore. Jake McConville, though, grizzled veteran.
It's a lot to handle. Jake's a lot to handle.
Yeah. Very fast. Gets to a shot. Sets him up beautifully.
What Jake is he violent. Okay, he's violent. And in a combat sport, and
Look at that. Beautiful.
in a physical sport, if you're violent, you got a shot. You know, you got a good shot.
Great defense right there by Trey Potts, but that shot was beautiful to look at. Not finished, though.
Jake's unfazed.
Your action.
Oh, I love it.
This is definitely going to be a chippy match right here.
And what's great is seeing the fight between the two opponents right now. Like the score 46-9, this match cannot bring a 40-point swing upon Sterling. However, both wrestlers just going in ready for war, and that's what you love to see.
Absolutely, especially when you got a matchup with two different grade levels, age levels. It's all thrown out the window.
Yeah, and we were talking about drip earlier, and we got leg sleeve and crazy shoes versus just straight, simple business black attire.
I was going to comment on the shoes. I personally like the color scheme of the shoes, going along with the socks.
Shocking. From the man who lets his gut hang out for the entire football.
I think it's a great look.
I'll tell you what, that's
I
a great
agree.
scramble right there. Not to change the subject back to wrestling, but a really nice scramble.
Trey Potts fighting hard against Jake McConville, one of the better wrestlers in South Jersey.
Love it. Love jumping the whistle.
Yep.
Got a couple cautions you can use for you to start getting on points. Might as well.
Yep.
I like jumping the whistle when I'm on bottom.
Yeah.
Trying to steal a point, time up a ref
And
whistle.
little strategy, if you're on bottom, if you go to cave your arm in a little bit, and you can possibly get a caution call on the other kid, and as it appears to be, the ref might see it as him chopping your arm down. Trey Potts is pushing the pace right here.
Nice rushing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Great. What a way to end the period right there for Jake McConville.
A little stare down there by Potts, and the crowd is loving it.
Jake McConville's been in a lot of these situations. He's,
Yeah.
This ain't his first rodeo, as they say.
Yep. Jake McConville has wrestled some tough opponents this year, avenging a loss earlier from last year's districts earlier this year at Gloucester.
I don't like it when Jake looks into my eyes like that. He's staring into your soul. Way to clear your hands.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, man. You see him clear his hands right there?
Yeah, that was great. And Jake McConville, very fast and very reactive off the whistle because he jumps in. That's why he's staring at the ref like that. He's looking to see when he's going to blow the whistle.
Small detail. You see Trey every time we go back to reset, take a long walk around the mat. That's he wants to get a little gas back.
Yep.
All right, it's something to pay attention to as you move forward.
Trey looking to get the wrist. Looks like he got the wrist right now. See what he wants to do with it.
Oh boy.
Oh.
That's uncomfortable.
Yeah, that didn't look very pleasant. Jake McConville still in bounds.
Jake needs to get back to the middle, get set, and start pushing his pace. Get set and let's go.
Look for Jake McConville to go off the whistle very quickly right here.
See
maybe
Trey
jumping.
taking his time?
Yep, I see exactly what you're saying now.
Uncomfortable.
We're taking his time to get set up, so I see exactly what you're saying.
That's impressive.
One thing about Jake McConville, with him being such a grizzled veteran, being a senior, is seeing like he's probably seen some of these officials before, so he knows their tendencies on the whistle.
Jake's going to be stalling. Can't hang on the ankle down there.
He's not really making an attempt to do anything. He's just now starting to grab the wrist.
Does a nice job, though, on that.
McConville has the leg hook. Again, it's been, I bet, it's been an important theme all night, it's the hips.
I love Trey's nastiness. I know he got a little nasty streak in him.
2-0 battle right now.
This reminds me of one of those matches where Sterling said before the match, guys, we might not win this match, but we're going to win the fight. Like we're going to win this fight. They're going to remember wrestling Sterling after this.
Yeah.
And I like that. That's what competition's all about.
Yeah.
You don't like it when somebody rolls into your gym and just rolls over for you.
No.
It's going to be a caution.
Caution, yep. Like you were saying earlier, the score is, like I said earlier as well, the score is not going to show how much of a battle this has been. All 14 matches have just been a crazy battle. Jake McConville getting that hand free once again off the whistle. Has the leg. Jake McConville has the leg.
Great job jumping hips. Great job jumping hips.
Oh, Peterson.
Oh, Peterson. I know Coach Shields is loving that as he just got up and flexed out of his chair. Coach Shields loved every second of that. I can guarantee it.
Jake needs to keep his cool right now because show him. Just show the official. Just show the official. So what should happen here is Jake should calmly walk over to the official, show him the bite mark. The official will look at the teeth marks. If there are top and bottom teeth marks, it's a technical point against the opponent. If there's only one set of teeth marks, it's considered inadvertent.
Yeah.
What Jake needs to do, though, is he needs to keep his cool.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like we said earlier, you can't control the official. So I think the best way to respond for Jake, if he doesn't get the call the way he wants, I think Jake just comes out on top and pushes the pace for the rest of the match.
You got Papa McConville saying, figure it out, Jake.
Yep. Papa McConville is not a guy who's for the easy way out. He comes in the room and he is there to get the best out of everyone.
Coach already pleading his case here. I'll tell you what, I've not seen. I think overall the officiating this year has been really quality. I've not seen often where officials. So right now, go back to what we're talking about. He's looking at whether there are top and bottom bite marks. Look closely at it. He's identified that there is only one set of bite marks. I think. Official Bob Brown. Looking at a replay here at the booth. Definitely a bite.
Yep. Jake McConville does not care, though. He said, come back into the circle. If you saw a little point, come back to the circle. We're going to battle this out like men.
We all love the intensity, but this is where you got to be careful.
Yep.
It's 46-9.
Can't be stupid here. Definitely can't be stupid here.
Control your emotions.
Yep.
Win the match.
Yep. You're going to see, definitely, like I said earlier, chippy matchup. Don't expect Jake McConville to set back there. He has some fire under him, and this is going to ignite it even more.
But he's not going against any slouch here.
No, not at all.
I mean, Trey, whether he meant to bite him or inadvertently bit him,
Stalling on red, 1 point for green.
Doesn't really matter. Trey's going to go the distance.
Yep.
Neutral. Oh, boy. No throws.
Nope.
Second caution.
Second caution's definitely got to be smart here now. The coach is looking for maybe a team point there.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
The shot.
It habits
Shot.
wrestling.
Trey
Yep.
put his hand in his head. Let's move on. Everybody. Put your big boy pants on. Varsity wrestling here, everybody.
The sport is not for people who want to find an easy way out.
Keep moving your action.
Jake, one of the best at the low single.
Yep. Jake is just one of the best, just general
Ate the
shooters.
headbutt right there.
What's so great about Jake's ankle pick and outside singles is his level changes. They're so constant, and Jake attacks on the ones you don't notice. And,
Another stall.
and that's when he capitalizes.
I don't love that stall call.
Yeah, neither do
I'm
I,
gonna be
honestly.
honest. I think Trey's controlling the action.
Jake
Yeah, and
gets his
see that. So he gets hit with a second stalling call, and when he's controlling the action, and
Yeah.
now he feels like he's gotta go, and he
Yeah.
takes a bad shot and gives up.
I agree with you there. I don't think there was a need for there to be a stall right there. But nonetheless, like we can't control the officials. You just got to keep wrestling through it. It's adversity.
We have taught you well, Michael Griffith. Young grasshopper. I got a bloody nose.
Physical matchup.
Tomorrow, wrestling will travel to an absolute bloodbath of a quad down in St. Augustine, as it'll be St. Augustine, West Effort, Clearview, and St. Joe's Montvale. You want to see some great wrestling, head on down to Hermit Country
Yeah.
down there and check it out. It's going to be a great day of wrestling. And that's just another example of Coach Iraldi's commitment to the belief that steel sharpens steel. Right? We're not scheduling teams that you know you can go out and roll over just to get some cheap W's. We want to wrestle the best to go into the postseason prepared.
I think a great example of that is the wrestling team, West Everett wrestling team, going down to Virginia for a national tournament where you see some of the best teams in the nation, and you wrestle some not only best teams in the nation but some of the best kids in the nation. And when you come back from that, you definitely learn a thing or two, maybe a reality check, maybe a wake-up call, and definitely this battle-tested schedule for West Effort is definitely something that's going to show when it comes playoff time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Definitely not a comfortable position right there.
Stay tough. Here we go.
That's what you got to be so careful in this sport. You want the speed, the intensity, but certainly don't want anybody getting hurt badly.
I agree.
And it happens.
This is a sport. Things do happen.
And just like all night, Trey Potts represents Sterling with an absolute warrior mentality.
Yep.
Got to be careful here not to get locked up by a late cradle.
Jake looking to get two here, and the major locked up.
Stay there. Don't give it up.
5 seconds left to close out the match. Jake McConville earns a major on senior night.
Oh.
Check that does not get the major. Check that.
Ooh, quick reminder about finishing Jake McConville.
Wow. Stare down from Trey Potts.
Great job, guys. I'm going to go to this handshake. You guys can wrap this up.
Thank you for tuning in tonight to WDTV 08 as you saw the matchup between Sterling and West Effort Wrestling. I hope you enjoyed your time here. I hope you enjoyed the wrestling you've seen. I'm out.
See ya.